Years while it was happening, I never understood that it would always be that way. We expected him to come back, any day. And then, when he didn't, my mother thought she would marry someone else and he would be the father. "He'll buy you things," she said. "You just wait and see." I waited. There was nothing else I could do. My mother was a young woman then. She was waiting also, for her life. From place to place we moved an embroidered sampler. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. She always hung it in the kitchen, usually near the sink. Sometimes she looked at it and sighed. Once she did marry someone else, but he never seemed to either of us like a father. Absence has qualities, properties all its own, but no voice. The colors of his absence were the blue and white of a Wisconsin sky, a black like telephone poles and lines falsely on the distance, or a tossed spray of crows, the brown of a man's old suit, bagging pants and worn leather shoes. There were traveling men, hobos those days, and every time we saw one across a field, it was him. The yellow of a moth, the gray of sheer mountain rock in Colorado, even the dusk smell of a summer field. He was the forced, empty clean of those cheap mints from taverns, green in the middle of white. That taste meant empty, like the tiled tavern my mother and I went in once during the daytime to use the phone and buy gum. He would never know. He wasn't watching us. Days went by, and years. We understood we'd never remember all we had to tell. It was just now. The elapsing of our time and lives, nothing much. We would have left it for an afternoon with him. There were 2 times, Wisconsin time and his. Everything in the Midwest was patient and had to do with seasons. Everything seemed too easy for us there. Nothing was hard. In school, for me, everything was beside the point. I never found the faith I wanted, and all along I had it. It just wasn't colored and fleshed the way I'd imagined. It was like the time my class was taken to hear a symphony orchestra. The children around me were playing Hang the Man, passing paper and pencil back and forth. They offered me a place in their game, but I refused. I was following the program intently. It said 2 things and then Hansel and Gretel. I imagined sets and capes and pink ballerinas, choral opera vaulting into the sky. Then the concert ended and there was an encore and people stood and left their programs on their seats. I never saw the pageant I expected. Faith was that way, thinner, abstract, only music. We wanted too much from this world. We believed in an altogether different life than the one we had, my mother and I. We wanted brightness. We believed in heaven. We thought a man would show us there. First it was my father. We believed he would come back and make me a daughter again, make my mother a wife. My grandmother did not like him, but I prayed for her anyway. If he came, we didn't want her to be left behind. My mother never lost her faith in men, but after years, it became more general. She believed a man would come and be my father, some man. It didn't have to be our original one, the one we'd prayed to first as one and only. Any man with certain assets would do. In this we disagreed, but quietly. I was becoming a fanatic. We moved to California. I thought maybe if he saw my face on TV. That is the way I was with men. I wanted love, but a high, far kind that made my breath hard as if it wouldn't last. I was ashamed of my wishes as if there were inherent wrong in them that showed, and if I told anyone, they would see it was my own fault I would never be happy. I wanted too much. Foolish things. But I wanted them anyway. I couldn't stop my longings. I could only keep them to myself.